In today's chess video, I will demonstrate some fascinating chess opening strategies and traps in the Englund Gambit. Let's begin with the opening. The moves are d4 and then e5, which is known as the Englund Gambit. While I wouldn't necessarily recommend this opening for black, it is not frequently played, and many white players are unfamiliar with how to respond to it. This presents an opportunity for you to take advantage, particularly in blitz and bullet games. There are several clever traps that you can set up as black, and if your opponent doesn't play correctly, you can completely dismantle their position. After d4 and e5, white captures your pawn. You then bring out your knight to attack this pawn, and white develops their knight to support it. You play queen e7, adding another attacker, and white brings out their bishop to defend. This is when you unleash a stunning move, queen b4 check, which launches a double attack on the king and bishop. White has two logical responses, blocking the check with their queen or bishop. If white blocks with their queen, after queen d2, you can capture the pawn on b2. Their rook is now in trouble, and the only way to save it is by offering to exchange queens. However, to their surprise, you have a beautiful move, bishop to b4, and their queen is lost. If white blocks the check with their bishop, again, you can take on b2. Now comes the most crucial part of the game. If white plays correctly, they can gain a solid advantage. However, if they make a mistake, it spells trouble for them. The most tempting option is bishop to c3, attacking the queen. Many players tend to move their bishop in blitz and bullet formats, but that is a significant mistake. After white plays bishop c3, you play the lethal move bishop b4. If white takes your bishop, you can recapture with your knight, double attacking the pawn and threatening to fork the king and rook. This puts white in an unpleasant position, and there isn't much they can do to recover. They might have to sacrifice their knight, and from there, it's only a matter of time before they are defeated. If white plays queen to d2, you can simply take their bishop. They cannot take back with their queen, because it would lead to a checkmate on c3. So they are forced to take with their knight, but then they lose their rook. Even upon analyzing this position, it becomes clear that the game is essentially over, and you should easily secure the victory from there. Now, let me show you how white should play this. Now let's flip the board. The best move for white is knight to c3, leaving black with limited options. I will go through the most common moves that you can expect from black and provide the appropriate responses. If black plays bishop b4, you can play rook to b1, attacking the queen. Then queen a3 follows, and you can play knight d5, attacking the bishop with 3 pieces and threatening a fork on the next move. If the bishop takes, you can recapture with the queen. Black is then forced to play king d8 to prevent a check. At this point, you can play queen to g5 check, providing you with various attacking options and setting up a favorable game for you. In the position where black moves the bishop back to a5, protecting the pawn, you can simply play rook b5. If black plays bishop d2, it leads to the same line we discussed earlier. If black plays bishop b6, you can easily take with your rook. Regardless of how they capture your rook, you can play knight c7 check. After king d8, you can capture the knight, and even in this position, you are significantly ahead in development, black cannot castle, and you have an extra pawn. Once again, you have a solid advantage. If black plays knight b4, attacking the pawn, you can defuse the situation by playing knight d4. And if black tries to run away with their queen, you can attack it with knight d5. As soon as the queen moves, you can capture the pawn and then take their rook. The moral of the story is that if you play this opening correctly as white, you will consistently dominate the game. That concludes our discussion for today, and we'll reconvene in the next episode of Get Smart. Take care and peace.